Welcome back. We are now hearing that there is concern in the internet computer ecosystem of potential selling from insiders. And today we're going to be discussing, is this actually going on? Is this something that we need to worry about? And we're going to look at the on-chain data to see what in the internet computer is going on here. And as always, we talk a lot about different crypto blockchains on this channel, specifically internet computer ecosystem, I believe, is one of the best crypto ecosystems. So when I hear about insiders selling, that makes me concerned because if I'm a holder of the coin, I don't want there to be significant dilution. But at the same time, the insiders definitely deserve to reap the rewards of what they've created here. But let's understand a little bit more. This user on X said some people are still claiming that Dfinity, that's the main developer behind the internet computer, is dumping internet computer tokens on retail investors. Did someone ever analyze the percent held by the whales and the fluctuations of these percentages over time? Well, this thread we're going to be going through and we're going to be understanding where are the ICP coins. But before we do that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a new video. We upload almost every single day to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. Give the video a thumbs up because thumbs up are free, but internet computer coins are not free. They've dropped from the launch of like 99%, but we haven't gotten to zero. And I don't think that we will get to zero because there is a lot of technology built on internet computer and a lot of AI capabilities. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the coins. So let's get right into it. So this was posted in 2024 on the Dfinity forum, and it says Delia Capital's X post says ICP has 78.11% of the supply is concentrated in the hands of 0.12% of holders. And it says, as of now, there are approximately 720 addresses above this threshold, roughly accounting for 0.12% of existing addresses with non-zero balances. Well, let's kind of understand a little bit more. In February of 2024, Delia Capital posted on X claiming that 78.11% of the ICP supply is held by just 720 wallets. Nearly 395 million, or 78% of the total supply, is held by humpback wallets, which possess over 100,000 ICP coins. As of then, they said there are approximately 720 addresses above that humpback whale threshold, accounting for 0.12% of existing addresses. And so as a reply, Kyle Langham, who is data and analytics at the Dfinity Foundation, he said at least 59.1 million ICP are held by exchange hot and cold wallets, and these wallets are obviously custodial for Internet Computer Protocol owned by many, many people. And this is true. A lot of people that look at a lot of the blockchain scans to see like what kind of activity and what kind of rich lists look like and who owns what in what wallets. What they don't necessarily know is who owns the wallets, right? And so previously we saw this happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem fairly often, where you would see a very, very large wallet moving coins and people would say, oh, look, the whales are getting ready to dump. And then CZ from Binance would say, no, this is Binance just moving around coins from their cold or hot wallets or whatever the situation is. And then they would typically go and label those wallets. So they would know in the future, this is Binance. This is not just a major whale. A lot of the smaller ecosystems or newer ecosystems, because the coins haven't been distributed for that length of time, a lot of wallets look like whale wallets, and some of them may be, and some of them may be insiders, but some are definitely exchanges. He said in his post, the data and analytics guy from Dfinity, he said 56 million coins are liquid tokens owned by Dfinity, easy to calculate using the circulating supply definition. 29.2 million ICP coins are Dfinity neurons staked for 8 years. 10.5 million are ICA neurons staked for 8 years. Those figures represent about 37% of 395 million coins. And so we need to understand a little bit more about where the total supply is for internet computers. So if we go to CoinMarketCap, and again, I'm recording this in the middle of 2025, you can see here that about 532 million ICP coins are in existence. Now that's today. This conversation that happened was about 1 year ago. And so there has been some inflation in ICP, but I don't know that it's 200 million, right? That's almost double. And so let's continue with the thread. It says, now let's analyze the ICP supply held by the top 720 wallets to understand what has changed in the last 15 months. Currently, the top 720 wallets hold 73% of the supply, which is 4% less than it was a year ago. And what that says is that there's more distribution. And this you typically see in coins as time goes on. The whale wallets become smaller and whales become smaller because more coins are distributed. The price typically will go up on these high performing valuable assets. And so people start selling and they sell to new wallets that start to accumulate. And so the whale wallets become less. Currently, the top 774 wallets hold 74% of the supply. And so you can see more wallets hold the same amount of supply that they did last year, which shows that more coins have been distributed. And that would make sense as well because in 2024 there was a massive bull phase of the market. I mean, pretty much the whole year was a bull run. So this is on IC Terminal. This is where they're getting the data from. Moving on with this post. He says people tend to forget that 99.2% of the supply of ICP at Genesis, meaning at the beginning, was held by less than 1,000 participants. Adoption for ICP means that the number of holders and meaningful wallets should increase and that the supply should slowly flow from the Genesis participants, these initial wallets, to retail investors, institutions, and other participants that did not get an allocation in 2021. I mean, guys, think about it. How many people owned ICP in 2021? I sure as hell didn't. It launched at $450 and then it went up to $800 and then crashed down to $290 in 2023. I mean, who would be buying that? And granted, some of you guys did, so I'm not trying to like hate, but the only way for you to buy coins after a project initially launches is to buy it from the initial liquidity. This happened in every ecosystem, right? There's people in other ecosystems that they're like, well, yeah, Vitalik has never sold his Ethereum. It's like, yes, he has. There's people who say Charles Hoskinson never sold his Cardano. I'm sure he hasn't sold all of it, but I'm sure he sold some of it. People who say the other ecosystem leaders never sold their coins, like highly improbable. Most likely they've sold some of their coins, right? The whole point of investing is to make a profit, increase your wealth, protect your financial future. That's the point of investing. This idea that people are going to build a product, a multi-billion-dollar global blockchain, and that the early investors and inventors and researchers and developers, they're just going to sit aside and say, you know what, we're doing something good for the world, so we're just the last 5 years of our lives, we don't need any payment for it. I don't need any money. I don't need to pay my bills. I'm just going to do the work completely for free. That is ridiculous, right? That is absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of people do believe this about these ecosystems, especially when they're not a whale, right? They look at the whales and they're like, well, the whales are selling on the market. That's not fair. And it's like, well, I mean, you have to get in early to get in these massive run-ups. This is why a lot of people in the general crypto market, right, outside of ICP, they don't want to chase Bitcoin. They don't want to chase Ethereum. They're just looking for like, oh, let me find the cheapest coin that is going to go up. And then when it doesn't, they start to blame the developers and the ecosystem for the prices not going up the way that they wanted it to go up. And it's like, that's not how the markets work. You looked for that coin. Now, personally, when I look at internet computer coin, even if the insiders are selling, which I would anticipate over time they're going to, as long as they're not selling, like dumping onto the market which I thought they were originally doing when ICP first launched. I mean, if you look at my videos from back in 2021, I was like, yeah, insiders are definitely selling because the price went from $800 down to $50 in like 3 months. And it's like, how the F does that even happen? You can see that right here. It launched in May or around May of 2021, and then by June it literally went from $700 down to 30 freaking dollars. So like when you see a chart like that, like that's the only thing that you could think of. But since then, why would any of the insiders be selling a $2 and $3 internet computer? Maybe some of them sold at $20. That would probably be smart because we went from $2 to $20 in a matter of 6 months. But yeah, I mean, we can see that that clearly happened by the on-chain data, that there's more wallets with that same amount of percentage of the supply. Anyway, moving on. Now, let's analyze the growth of meaningful wallets holding 10, 100, and 1,000 ICP in the last year. This is an apples to apple comparison, he's saying. In the last year, Internet Computer has added almost 22,000 meaningful wallets that hold more than 10 ICP, which represents 25% year over year increase. And this makes sense. As the market comes down, people start buying. When the market goes up, people start buying. Like we're in the midst of a bull market. In the last year, we've added 8,701 meaningful wallets that hold more than 100 ICP. And this equals a 20% increase year over year. So over 8,000 wallets holding over 100 ICP. 100 ICP would be about $500 approximately at current prices when I'm recording this. And by the way, if you are up to this point in the video, make sure you guys give the video a free thumbs up. I upload almost every single day. The thumbs up are free, even if you don't want to become a channel member by clicking join down below or subscribing. At least give the video a free thumbs up. Let's continue on. This user continues saying, in the last year, we've added about 1,700 meaningful wallets that hold more than 1,000 ICP, which equals 11% increase year over year. And so you can see there is definitely more people buying into the ecosystem. There's more wallets utilizing the ecosystem. And I can show you other data that the ecosystem is growing at a very rapid pace. And so when we're looking at the metrics on the Internet Computer Protocol versus these other ecosystems, there's no comparison. That's why when I saw all this nonsense about, oh, well, the whales are owning too much ICP, it's like, what? Like, do you guys understand the big picture here with Internet Computer? So this user continues saying the ICP supply on exchanges has increased from 7.7% of the supply to 9.45% year over year. If we take into consideration 10 million tokens were unlocked from the NNS, and we're still facing token inflation, I would say this is absolutely in line with expectations. He concludes saying the Genesis was 99.2% of the ICP supply, and that was held by less than 1,000 wallets. That was 2021. We're now 4 years later. 79% of the supply is held by the top 1,000 wallets, which is almost a 20% difference, right, between where we were at Genesis and where we are now. That's about almost a 5% drop per year. And so, I mean, for me, this is not that big of a deal. It's not a big issue. I don't know why people are making it into a big issue. And so this is the current ICP that you would need to hold to be in these different categories. So are you a humpback whale, just a whale, a shark, a dolphin, a fish, an octopus, a crab, shrimp, or plankton? Plankton is if you own less than 1 ICP. Shrimp is 1 to 10 ICP, crab is up to 100, octopus is up to 500, a fish is up to 1,000, dolphin is up to 5,000, shark is up to 10,000, whale is up to 100,000, and a humpback whale is over 100,000. And so, listen, are they selling some of their coins, Dfinity, to continue the operations of their business? I would imagine so. But also look at Dfinity Foundation, right? At Genesis, they had 111 million coins, which is basically about 24% of the supply, right? about 24% of the supply. Now, if we look at the Internet Computer dashboard and we go to the governance section, you can actually see what the voting power is. And the voting power is based on the holdings, right? The total voting power of neurons held by Dfinity Foundation. I know this is probably small for you guys to read, but I'm going to read it. It says here, neurons that do not vote, set following or confirm following for over 6 months gradually lose voting power until it reaches 0 after 7 months. These inactive neurons are called sleeper neurons. The actual is the percentage of total voting power held by Dfinity-owned neurons, accounting for reductions due to sleeper neurons. This is a value shown at the top of the chart, and it's also known as the deciding voting power. The potential, right? We don't really have to worry about potential because this is all actual what their voting power is. And so this tells us how many neurons they have on the network. Neurons is staking, right? How much are they staking? And so what we're seeing here is that they still basically have a little bit, 20% of the supply over the last year. They've had 20% of the voting power and 20% of the supply of the network. It's increased in the last year, right? You can see here in the beginning of 2025, their actual voting power has increased. Now, I'm not sure why it's increased. I'm guessing it increased because their neurons are maturing, because I would imagine they're probably locked in for multiple years. I don't know the exact reason, but either way, they're still basically at 25%, which tells me that they didn't really sell any of their coins. And so what is everybody worried about? What is everybody freaking out about? Like, these ecosystems are built to bring value to these ecosystems, and as value increases, the idea is that some coins are going to be sold off to fund the operations, to build it even better and to bring more value. It's kind of like you own a home and you put money into it and then the value increases. You put more money into it, the value increases. You put more money into it, the value increases. If you stop putting money into it, the value actually goes down, right? Because all your neighbors are going to be putting money into their houses, and you're going to have the old house that hasn't been updated in 70 years, and you still want $1 million for it. Well, you're not going to get $1 million if I have to gut renovate the whole damn house. Same thing here with these coins. As time goes on, the coins are sold off to continue to sell, right? Ripple does this, but it's just a matter of how much is being used and how much is being sold versus how much is being used to actually increase the ecosystem. And so far, it appears to me that Dfinity is doing a great job building Internet Computer and building out the ecosystem. So much so that something is brewing with ICP, guys. I'm telling you. If we look at the transactions per second on ICP, you can see that we're now over 10,000 transactions per second. And if we look at the actual network overview, what we will be able to see here is that the actual transaction per second rate over the last 1 month has basically gone up by a factor of like 4 or 5x. And so you guys can see on this chart about the beginning of, this is on the 1 month chart. Let's pull up the 3 month chart. And what you can see right here is that over the last 3 months, the number went from basically about 3,500 transactions per second to 12 or 14,000 transactions per second. So you're going from like 3 to 12. That's a 4x. And we actually went over 12 in the last couple of days. So we're going like 4 or 5x. Why are we seeing transaction per second increasing the throughput on the blockchain? Why are we seeing this? Why are we seeing smart canister contracts increasing by substantial rates? I mean, you could see last year we were at 500,000 canister smart contracts on ICP 1 year ago. Now we're at 1 million or just about there. So we basically double the number of smart contracts. What are built and what are held inside smart contracts on Internet Computer? AI compute, AI capabilities, AI data, AI processing. And so we know that Internet Computer has been focusing on AI and other developments within interoperability and Hedera coming over and utilizing internet computer technology. We're seeing other ecosystems like Solana utilizing the same type of technologies that internet computer is using to build their own AI capabilities. But right now, there's no real competition for internet computer because they are the fastest major blockchain out here now, more than double what Solana's actual throughput is, and this is being proven. And so we combine this with the real non-concern about the insiders selling or where all these coins are. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, it seems like a really good network. You guys know I'm a huge internet computer bull, and I think something's brewing here because transactions per second have gone almost into the banana zone, or they're in the banana zone, and we're just going to keep going higher into that banana zone. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think that there is something brewing with internet computer, or do you think that I'm just hyping this up to pump my bags, as some of you say? Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a new video, and I'll see you when I see you. Invest responsibly and crypto on.